So the idea is to create a battle style video game soundtrack where the music will dynamically kind of change depending on set parameters based around whether or not the hero would be winning or the enemy would be winning. So it's broken into 7 pieces of music, with each piece of music having a transition in order to allow us to move from one piece to the other. I composed everything within Nuendo. So if you have a look at my markers, so each one of these markers that you can see along the top here and down here correspond to each individual kind of short segment of music that I composed. So for instance, we've got the first one, which would be the neutral piece of battle music. So that would be the very first piece that you hear. You've also got your Hero 1, Hero 2, Hero 3 pieces, so each one of them building in intensity. Then you've got Enemy 1, Enemy 2 and Enemy 3 pieces, each one of them again building in intensity. And then for each kind of change between, say for instance, Hero 1 and Hero 2, I've created a variety of transitions as well, both for the hero and for the enemy, as well as an enemy win and a hero win piece of music as well, so depending on what happens within the game. So I'll run through each piece quickly. I won't play the whole thing, I'll just give you an idea of what the kind of track sounds like. So each track would be infinitely loopable as well, so it would just depend on how long the player would be within that particular section of the parameter within the battle. So if we were just to go for the neutral section first. Okay, and then if we were to go into the Hero 1 section. So as you can hear there, I've kind of tried to add in a little bit of a kind of heroic style of theme to that as well. And then if it built up the intensity again, you would be moving to the Hero 2 piece. So I tried to make that one feel a little more kind of intense in the sense of, it could go one way or the other. And then you've got the Hero 3 piece, which would be the last piece you would most likely hear before the character, for instance, won the battle. Much more heroic. And then, in order to get from one piece to the other, I've created a few transition segments as well. So, for instance, there's one. Another one. I found this one actually, I wrote this initially for the hero, but I actually did apply it in some of the enemy as well. And then there's a slightly shorter one. So we've got, that's all the hero sections. And now we've got the enemy music. Again, it can loop infinitely. So enemy 1. Enemy 2. Enemy 3. Just ramped up the percussion a little bit, added some more kind of heavy brass. for each one of them, we also have a variety of transitions. So here's an enemy transition. And we also have the hero win piece. And an enemy win piece. So I'll run through exactly how I implemented everything within Wwise. So initially, obviously, like I said, we wanted the kind of game parameter to be the controlling factor within how the music would change interactively, depending on what play was happening. So you can see there I've set it at minimal 0, so that would be enemy is most success, and maximum 200, where the hero would be at the most success, and default being 100, so right in the middle of those two other parameters. So each of them would control your battle switches. So when you look here, you've got your different kind of levels of area within the chart, within the graph, of where your music is going to change depending on where your parameter is. Now the default would be 100, which is bang in the middle, just so that, you know, the minute you start playing, you've not got any music that is either heroic or based around the kind of enemy. If you have a look at the Soundcaster here, just show all that. As this changes, as your parameter changes, you'll see that the battle switches change to correspond to what piece of music that I need to happen based around the intensity of the battle, whether we go towards the enemy or we go towards the hero. And if you look towards the left hand side of the screen under the audio, you can see there that I've got switch groups, and in that switch group, the battle switch group, you've got battle, neutral, enemy 1, 2, 3, hero 1, 2 and 3. And above that we've got transitions, so each one of those transitions will be applied to help move between each piece of music, whether it's enemy 1 to enemy 2 or hero 1 to hero 2. So I'm going to run through the soundtrack as it would be played. Not going to play it long enough for the pieces of music to loop. I just find that would just take up too much time. So I'll just play it and then randomly kind of move the parameter around just to give you an idea of how the music will change. So I'll start it. You've got your generic background ambience at the moment, and now if the battle started, so why don't we look at moving the parameter more in favour of the hero? And what we'll do is we'll run through it. Let's just imagine, you know, the player's really good at the game and the hero character never seems to kind of end up losing against the enemy. So as I move it, you can see that the switch now changes to hero 1. So you can see you've got this whole area here before it steps up into hero 2. So let's just imagine we now head into the hero 2 territory, so the parameters going further towards the 200. So that's the tension ramped up. Wanted this bit to feel a little bit more like the hero had a bit of peril. It was a wee bit like, could it go either way? And that would stay like that up until the next section. So as we head past 175, that's us now into what you would think about being the kind of crescendo for the hero character. And let's just imagine at some point around now the hero character will win the fight. And then that would be you into the next part of the game. So let's do the opposite now and see how it reacts going the other direction. So the enemy character is going to be winning this time. That's us into the battle. So we've already heard that piece, so now we're straight into enemy 1. So that could just play on a loop over and over again. And now we're going to enemy 2. So again, ramped up the tension a bit. And then finally into enemy 3. Transition. So that could just play for as long as it needed to on a constant loop. And let's just imagine at this point maybe the enemy wins. Have to do it all over again. So that is how it would work should you be either winning or losing without it jumping between an enemy character and a hero character. However, what I've also tried to do is create the music when it moves from, for instance, enemy 1 to let's say the hero character had actually powered up or started to win again, rather than go into the kind of start piece of music, so the kind of beginning piece. I think I wanted it to sound like you could go from enemy 1 to hero 1 quite seamlessly. So that one there I've added another transition, so we'll play that and I'll show you an example of how that worked. And it also works in reverse. So let's just go to enemy 1. And now let's just imagine, I'll type in 125 and that will take us to hero 1. So you can hear there that it kind of seamlessly jumps from enemy 1 to hero 1. And let's just imagine we go back the way, maybe even we go back down to the kind of neutral part of the battle. And then that's us into the neutral part of the battle. So it's quite dynamic. You can move, you can move the parameter around a bit, and just dependent on what character within the game's actually winning the battle. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed.